Oh, Pompeii! Want to know how I felt about this movie? Want to know? Want to know? Let's talk about it. Alright, this is my review for Pompeii, starring Kit Harrington, Emily Browning, Kiefer Sutherland, and Carrie-Anne Moss. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about this movie. Let's talk about the directing by Paul W.S. Anderson. Okay, what do we know about this guy? He's directed movies like Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, and The Three Musketeers. But before I talk about the director, I want to talk about the acting. The acting from the principals in this movie was serviceable. And I've never seen Game of Thrones, so Kit Harrington, this is my first time seeing anything from him, and he served his purpose. What stood out to me, though, was Kiefer Sutherland, actually, to tell you the truth. You could see that he was actually trying to do something different with this role. And that just goes to prove how much of a good actor he is. From movies like Stand By Me, Flatliners, Dark City, you could just see that he just tries to always bring something to the table. And he does so in this movie too. And while I was watching this movie, it tells the tale of a young boy who watches his whole village get slaughtered by Kiefer Sutherland, and then he grows up to be a gladiator. He wants revenge. Yeah, been there, done that. He sees a beautiful girl. He tries to win her over. They have a few scenes together, literally a few scenes together. They fall in love and, that bung blows up. So putting it into perspective like that, the premise is sound. The actors are sound. On page, you look like you got something that's pretty good. However, what I felt when I was watching this movie, it fell flat a little bit in the cinematography. They were trying for something. It just felt like they were reaching a little too far out of their range. And a lot of that falls back on the director, Paul W.S. Anderson, who's, okay, let's talk about him. Yeah, he's done movies like Mortal Kombat, Event Horizon, which I really liked. But, where I see flaws in a lot of his movies are in the editing room, and just like always seems to be one note that's missing. He's never been able to nail it. And the other thing that really stood out that was lacking was the score, because it had something serviceable for the score. It felt like it missed its cues over and over again, because you see somebody die and you think there would be a peak in the score, something to like put an exclamation mark on it, something to draw up your emotions, but it's just flat. And it's like, well, that's a wasted opportunity. And unfortunately, that feeling kind of carries out through the whole third act of this movie. I am one of the few people that actually enjoyed the setup to this movie. I enjoyed watching these characters. Yeah, it was generic, but I liked seeing that kind of scenery. I liked the setup of the parents to this Roman senator. As I said, everything that Kiefer Sutherland did was gold. I thought it was on mark. It was on point. Okay, a guy gets stabbed. He gets run through, and he doesn't die straight up. He has the power to stand up and have this big, epic, glorious scene. And that's where I feel like Paul W.S. Anderson has always failed to deliver something to us where it feels weight, because he always wants to have that last epic moment in scenes that never translate well to the screen. Okay, but maybe I'm being a little too harsh. I don't want to be, because there are some good qualities to this film. If you can look past the shallowness of the principles, there are some good qualities there. There are some interesting plot points. I just wish, it felt like this movie needed one more rewrite. Like it needed a better director to execute it. Okay, let's give this rating. If I had to rate Pompeii, I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. Alright, if you've liked what you've seen, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe!